Hi, everybody, and welcome back to In the Kitchen with your favorite chef, Renee Hewitt. And I'm doing good. Have another sip of wine.
I'm a mother of four. It's really busy and time is tight. I was able to return to college because of the Community College Opportunity Grant, a free tuition grant. Hudson County Community College changed my life.
The college community made me feel like a person, not just a number. The Community College Opportunity Grant covers additional costs while keeping me debt-free. I'm building a new future at Hudson County Community College.
Today, we are going to make a really good dish. And I know a lot of you love it. You probably make it at home as often as possible. It's an Italian dish, and it's called frittata. Okay, so let's get started. I have all my ingredients here. I have pepper jack cheese. I have ricotta cheese. I have a cup of corn. Now, you could use a little bit more corn or a little less. That's left up to you. I have just a pinch more, okay? I have scallions that I'm going to add to the dish. I have some cilantro. I like cilantro. You can use parsley if you like at the end. I have my salt. I have my pepper. I have roasted garlic pepper. This is from R.L. Schreiber, one of my sponsors. This is really good. When we were setting up, we opened up this and you could just smell it. It's really good. And I have my cherry tomatoes and I have fresh spinach, which is going to go into mine. And most of all, I have my wine. Now, you know I can't cook without having a sip of wine here and there. So today we are using Pinot Noir, and it's from Domaine de la Riviere, and it's really good. This is from the Middle Reach vineyards, and it's a 2017 from Russian River Valley. This is really, really good. I hope that you try and get a bottle of it. You will love it. So let's pour some. Mmm. You hear that? That means it's good. Okay. Now, let's get started after I have my first sip. Perfecto. All right, so the first thing I need to do is to whisk my eggs. I have 6 eggs, like I said. So let's get started. Here is my first. Two. And I hope everybody is trying to enjoy this weather depending on where you're located. We're here in New Jersey, and today the weather is, I think, around close to 50 degrees. It's not too bad. It's not too cold. Sometimes we get so much heat in here that we need to open up a window because sometimes it's really hot. And I'm sure some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? Here we go. We need one more egg. And we're set. This dish is really simple to make. I'm using 6 eggs. For us, depending on your family size, you might want to use 8 eggs, and depending on the size that you're going to make. Okay. Now that we have our eggs done, the next step I'm going to do is add the ricotta. Now, I said this is about 1/3 of a cup. You can add more or less. That's left up to you. Okay. Here we go. This is going to be really good. All right. Now, we don't need this fork. Let's add a little bit of salt. You know I don't cook with salt, but for you folks, I'll do it. But actually, I do not cook with salt. We're used to it here at home. Bam. There we go. And of course, the roasted garlic and pepper. We're going to put some of that in here. Ooh, that's looking good. If you hear a little clicking, that means the heat is coming up. I don't know why it's not cold in here. Okay, so now that we have this, we're going to add our corn. And like I said, You could use a cup, you could use less, or you can use more. I think this is a little bit more than a cup. Ooh, this is coming together really good. Next, we need some scallions, and let me put this on the side. And I have 2 scallions, which I'm going to, let's move this out the way. My handy chef knife, a little different from the average, but it works and it's really good. So outside of that, we've been really fine. Just working hard trying to get these shows together for you. I'm sure you know that it is a lot of work, but what can you do? We're looking forward to having some guests come on. Actually, Marla, she owns and runs the vineyard. And we did an episode with her, and I hope you get a chance to watch it. She is such a really nice person. We went and did that on location. Her vineyard is in Sonoma Valley, which is in California. And I think in one of my shows I mentioned that those fires in California was a quarter of a mile away. Outside of that, we're trying to get, and I was already promised, a couple of the chefs from Hudson Community College Culinary Arts, where I graduated from. Chef, who's coming? Chef O'Malley. He said that he would come on the show one time. And also Chef Kazam. These 2 chefs, wonderful chefs, and Chef Tanya. Chef Tanya coming. She did table service. That's one of my favorites. I had fun with her in class. That was really nice. Thank you, Tanya. Yes. Okay, so the next step, let's get this, and I forgot something. Let's mix this. Ooh, you see where I'm going with this? This is going to be really great. Really great, okay? So I have my pan here, and it is heating up, so when I put the eggs in. Now, when you put the eggs in the pan, you want to, not a high flame. You don't want them to burn or get too brown at the bottom. What you're going to do, you're going to lift the pan up and move it to side by side with a spatula so some of the eggs will go underneath, okay? All right, so now that we have this, the next step we need is to add some cheese, and we're going to put the pepper jack. So let me move this out the way again. Here's our pepper jack. I love me some pepper jack, but I also love me some blue cheese. Oh my goodness. Oh, that blue cheese is the best. So here we go. Now you can put as much as this pepper jack if you want. You can put like 6 tablespoons, you can buy it already shredded, but I like buying the cheese and then, shred it myself. Of course, it's going to take a little extra work, but who cares? You be in the kitchen cooking and music's playing, and you might have some friends come by and everybody's hanging out and having such a wonderful time. And that's important, and that's the fun about cooking. That's why I have these parties here. And let me tell you, I start cooking at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I cook all day, and I usually tell my friends, the party starts at 6:30, and they be ringing that bell and coming up in here. I'd be exhausted. But you know what? At the end of the day, it is worth it. Okay, so I'm adding as much cheese as I like, and the same for you. Now, I'm just going to mix this together. Oh, yeah. My table is shaking. But that's okay. It's going to be all good at the end of the day. I am going to love this, and so will you. You're cooking for the kids. They're going to say, Ma, Dad, I want some more. Could you make me some more? You're going to be saying, okay, I'll make some more. And you might want to make it for dinner one night. There's nothing wrong with that. Make it for dinner. Here we go. Now that I mixed this, and it's looking good, I have another sip of wine, like this, to you. especially because you come and you tune in and you watch the show, and I get feedback from you, and thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Okay, I think that's good enough right there. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna add to my pan. Ooh, did you hear that? Wow. Wow, that sounds good. When it hit the pan, it was just going to, oh yeah, let it start to bubble. Yeah, so now that we got that part done, after this starts cooking on the side and I'm gonna lift it a little bit, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put it in the oven, okay? And then let it finish there, like I said, for about 3 minutes. But we need some spinach, okay? So let's add a little spinach. Yeah. Yeah. Oops. Let's do it the right way. Let me twist it. And I'm just going to cut it up in small pieces. Oh yeah. Oh, it looks good over there. You can see the whole table is shaking. This table is lifted on risers because the table is too low and I am tall. So that's the way it is. Okay. I think this is good. All right. I'm going to take some spinach and I'm going to sprinkle it on here. Not bad, huh? I think maybe I'll turn this pan up a little higher. There we go. Now there are all different types of ways that people make frittata. There is no wrong way. You make it the way that you feel that suits you and your family. I'm sure they won't complain. We should turn this up a little bit more. I'm sure they won't complain. I'm sure they'll be saying, Ma, Dad, can you make some more of that? It was really good. I loved it. Oh, we want more, Ma. We want more, you know? Yeah. Hey, why not? Oh, yeah, this is starting. Give it a couple of minutes while I have another sip of wine. And then in the meantime, I have my cherry tomatoes that I need to work on. Now, I think I had the covers. You put the 2 covers and you can slice it going across and it'll work out fine. But of course I didn't prepare that. In the meantime, let's do this. Oh yeah, that's starting. Turn it up a little bit. Okay, so here we go. Now, these cherry tomatoes, when you take this out, when you're ready, you're gonna take the tomatoes and you don't put them face down. You want the tomatoes, you want to face them facing up. So when it's in the oven, it will just cook down, okay? They'll get a little roasted, and that's what you want. All right, here's another one. Oh yeah, oh boy, I tell you, I've been so busy doing these shows. It's not easy setting up for guests to come in. I have a couple of people who cook at home. They make some wonderful dishes, and I invited them to come on, and one person said, oh, I'm afraid of the camera. I said, don't be afraid. I said, I'm afraid too. We all get a little nervous, you know what I mean. Yeah, here we go. And let's cut this, and do this. My pan looks good. Let's turn this up a little bit more. Oh yeah, it's starting. This little burner, it's so good. I think I mentioned in one of the other shows, when we got it, we said, come on, we got to try this out. And it got so hot that it started smoking. I said the smoke alarm is going to run. And the neighbors might be saying, what's going up in there? Renee, they're burning up the food. How about that? You know what I mean? No, I'm burning up the food. Just the way it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, perfect. All right, let me take my spatula, like I said, and then you're just going to, oh, this is perfect. You're just going to lift it a little so some of the egg runs down on the side. I'm sure the camera is showing you exactly what I'm doing. Oh, yeah. This is perfect. And use a non-stick pan, because if you use one of the others, you know what'll happen. It's going to stick and it's going to burn, and then when it's ready to come out the oven, you're going to have like a little mess. Okay, let's put this here. All right, now I have my tomatoes. I'm going to take these and I'm just going to put it on top because this is almost ready to go into the oven to finish cook. All right, like I said, you want these to be facing up, right? And we have some other good shows coming up. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. I'm not telling you what it is because I want y'all to be surprised and say, Renee is at it again and his crazy self. You know me. It's all about fun. It's all about cooking, and cooking is a pleasure. It truly is. Okay, let me clean off my board. Where's my... Move this out the way. Clean this up, nice and neat. I remember I did one show and I did not clean the board, and after I saw the playback of it, I says, now Renee, you should be ashamed of yourself. Now you know you learned in school you gotta clean the board. Okay, let's see this. Oh yeah, this is setting really good. All right, so now the next part, I want to add a little cheese on top. So I'm going to do this. Now, like I said, you can add as much cheese as you like. It's no such thing as, oh, you can only add a half a cup. You can only add a cup, like I told you about the corn. That's left up to you. If you like corn, then, you know, you're good. Okay, let's turn this off because you only need it on for a couple of minutes, actually. But this was a lot, and this is a smaller pan. So I'm going to add some cheese on top. Oh wow, I can smell it. This is great. Okay. Hold on. You know I have to have this. Marla, thank you. Okay, here we go. Now, the last time I made this, I made it in a big stainless steel pan. And what happened was it didn't have that thickness to it. It was really thin like a pizza. Okay, let's do bake, 350, start. Okay, well, I think we got a lot done today. And I thank you again for coming and contacting me on Instagram, Facebook. I really, really appreciate that so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I love you guys for that. Okay, in the meantime, here's to you. And I will be back when this is finished. Okay, see you in a minute. Bye. This quick tip segment is brought to you by Paulie's Brick House. Have you ever baked a chicken, taken it out of the oven in the aluminum pan, and 20 minutes later, 10 minutes later, you can lift the pan up with your fingers because it's so cooled? That's because you're using aluminum pans. I suggest investing in cast iron. These pans will last a lifetime and has been passed down from generation to generation. This I've used to cook a chicken, a small chicken. I spatchcocked it, meaning the chicken was cut open, pushed down on it, and it fit right in here. This one I've used for baked macaroni and cheese and also cornbread. Wonderful, wonderful pan. This one, great for oven roasters. I have a rack that goes on the inside and the veggies around it, cooks fantastically. This is the best. This one is good for cooking burgers on it. You get the lines one way, you turn it around, you get the other way. If you don't want the lines, you just turn it over and there's a flat surface that you can also use for burgers. Remember, it keeps the heat. My stove is a 5-burner. I put it in the center. You don't need a 5-burner to use this pan. You can put it on a double and it will do the job. These pans are not expensive. I suggest that you invest in them one at a time, and you will never go back to those other thin little pans that you have to turn the flame down and it burns your food. To you? Hi everybody, and welcome back to In the Kitchen. Today, what do we have? We have appetizer. A fast appetizer. It doesn't take long to make. Just in case you have some friends coming by and you say, I need a little appetizer, well, this is the one that you can prepare, okay? In the kitchen. All right, so this is a cucumber appetizer. As you can see, I have my cucumber. It's cut approximately a 1/2 inch, as you can see, about a 1/2 inch. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some cream cheese to it. I took the cream cheese, I cut up some cilantro, or you can use parsley if you like, made it room temperature, or take it and put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds and the cream cheese will soften. Don't put it in a long time because it will expand. Just a couple of minutes. All right, I put it inside a bag as such. I cut the tip off. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to squeeze just a little bit of the cream cheese on a sliced cucumber, okay? The next step, I'm going to add, I have here some mild salsa. Now, you can get the spicy one if you like, that's left up to you. So all I do, I take a little bit and I put right on the side of the cucumber where you see the cream cheese, okay? Let's do this. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add roasted cherry tomatoes. Now, if you like, you can get some heirloom. I use heirloom, but they weren't available, so I had to, use these, in other words, okay? So here's the heirloom cherry tomato. Now what you're going to do, you take the tomato and you put them on a cookie sheet. Put them in the broiler, but watch them. You do not want them to burn. I did it in my test kitchen, but hey, what else can you do? Maybe that's why I didn't have my glass of wine. And today we're having Domaine de la Riviere, and this is, the rosé. This is good. Shoshana, okay? This is good. So let's start with this. You know I always have a glass of wine. That's a must, and especially from Domaine de la Riviere. Here's to you. That is delicious. Trust me. Okay, moving right along. So we have the cucumber, about a 1/2 inch thick. I added the cream cheese that has cilantro, but like I said, you do not have to have cilantro. You can use parsley. Some people don't like the taste of fresh cilantro. And you mix that all up. You can add a little salt if you want, or pepper. Then I have my roasted tomato. Okay, on this I'm going to add 1 slice of jalapeno pepper. Now this jalapeno pepper, it's not very hot. It's called tamed because what they did, they removed the seeds and it sat in vinegar and it worked out really, really good. Okay, so here's one. And then if you like the cilantro, you can just put a little up on the top of it. And there it is, okay? Let's do another one. Here it is. That's not too thick. Now you can make it thinner if you like. Some people don't like too much of the crunch. So I'm gonna do this. Here is my bag with my cream cheese. You can put as much cream cheese as you like, okay? After the cream cheese, I'm going to add some mild salsa. Now I'm using the mild because I'm using the jalapeno pepper, and the pepper already has just a little kick to it, okay? Now, after I did this, I'm gonna take my roasted cherry tomato. I'm gonna put that on the side. Really good. Then, another jalapeno pepper. That's gonna go on the side. So you see where I'm coming from this? Okay, and just a little bit of cilantro. There we are. Now we have 5 of them. Okay, one more. Here we go. Our cream cheese mixture. Okay. A little of the salsa. It sounds nice, salsa. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to do the tomato, roasted tomato, jalapeno pepper, a little cilantro on top. Move this out the way. And here we are. Put this here, bring this into view. Now look at this. This looks really good. We have nice combination. Now you can put anything on top, that's left up to you. And then your garnish, you can sprinkle your cilantro or parsley around on the plate, topped off with a little salt. Now remember, we do not take salt and we go like this. You do it a little high up like it was snowing. In this case, snowing with salt. And then to top that off, I'm using Nature's Promise. This is a garlic and Parmesan olive oil, and it is really good. So I'm gonna just a little drip, little drip, little drip. Oh boy. There we go. Doesn't that look good? All right, and along with that, I'll have another sip of wine. Very nice. And here it is, everyone. You have your cucumber topped with cream cheese mixed with either parsley or cilantro. Then we have our roasted cherry tomato, we have our salsa, and then I ordered on top a slice of jalapeno pepper. Until the next time, I look forward to you coming back. You have a wonderful one. And here's to you. Until next time, bye. As cool temperatures are upon us, the first thing I think of is soup season and one-pot meal. R.L. Schreiber products are the perfect way to start your home-style recipes this season. With such a wide selection of concentrated stocks, chili peppers, and flavor-based products, let R.L. Schreiber be the beginning of your end result. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the second half. Now we're really going to get busy. We are going to make my favorite, at least one of my favorites, salmon cakes. Now, there are several types of salmon cakes, okay? Everybody, lots of people have different ways of making it. You can take fresh salmon, which I made a couple of shows back, maybe last year. I took the fresh salmon, remember, and I cooked it a little bit and da-da-da-da. Then they have the salmon that comes out of the can. Now, there are lots of people out there who love to have some salmon cakes, but they can't afford to go and buy a $25 piece of good salmon to feed a big family. So my feeling is to allow them to be able to buy salmon in the can, which is already prepared. There's nothing wrong with it. I think maybe years ago, that's how these salmon cakes started in the islands, et cetera, okay? So if you don't have the money to go out there and buy a big old piece of salmon, get it in the can. There are nice brands out there, and sometimes you can catch them on sale. We all know about sale because of the rising cost of food, et cetera, et cetera. So with that said, today we are going to use salmon from the can, okay? Watch this. Now, the first thing, I have to have my wine. This time, I'm having Domaine de la Riviere. It's the Chardonnay, and it's also from Next Door Neighbor, 2017 Russian River Valley. This is for you. There we go. And thank you, Marla. Okay, let's start out by taking a sip. Very good. I have my pan, my little pan on my little burner I told you about. I have 1 egg, 1 can of salmon. I have breadcrumbs, fresh garlic, onion, red pepper, green pepper, and a scallion. So let's get started with this. Let me move this out the way temporarily, and let's start the chopping. Now first, my green onion. Now actually the first step is to break up the salmon that came out the can, and as you can see, it's whole. As you move it around, most of the time you can find like the backbone of the salmon in here, okay? So what we want to do, we want to take our fork and just spread it apart and just look for that. You can take your hand, dig your hand in, honey. Don't worry about it. Okay? I found something. Right here, I found some bones. Now, some people, they don't bother to take the bones out because they are very, very soft. And when you're mixing the salmon, the bones just break apart. Now, here's an example of the bones. There it is. You see that? That's it. And if you take your finger, you can crush it. You see how easy that was to crush? That's why some people, they leave the bone in. That's left up to you. It's not going to hurt you, but we don't want it to be lodged in our throat. Okay. So I'm going through it a little bit more. Okay. And this is the second half from that frittata. Let me tell you, folks, that is so good. It is so good. Not because I made it. It is really good. I wish you was here to try it. Okay, so I chopped up my salmon with the fork, little chunks there. Now, the next step, I want to add some green pepper. Now, this isn't a lot, so I don't want to overdo it with the green pepper. So, now one time I made some salmon cakes, and guess what I put in it? Some jerk seasoning. You talk about spicy and good. It was delicious, as Deborah says. I don't think she tried that one, but it was really good because I put jerk seasoning. And we were away, I think in the Poconos with friends, sisters and all that kind of stuff. And this is a true story. And one person goes, "Oh, why you put that jerk seasoning? It's too hot. I can't stand hot food. You know that." I said, "Yeah, I know." I don't notice I never tell a person's name. I said, "I know." I said, "But it's in there. Try it." I am not lying. This man took that salmon patty and he ate it. He go, "Oh, this is good." And I said, "I thought it was too hot." He said, "No, this is good." He ate that and turned around and told his girlfriend, "Could you get me another one?" You see what I'm talking about? Because it wasn't too hot. People hear jerk seasoning and they say, "Oh, that's too much." Now, look how much green pepper I'm putting in. This was not one half, but maybe less than a quarter. And I chopped this up, maybe a little bit more. Okay? I'm going to take this. I'm going to add half of this because I just want to make sure that I don't overdo it. Okay? Now, I just took a ring of red pepper. Okay. I'm going to chop this up. And this is going to help give it color. We eat with our eyes. We see something that looks bland. We say, "I don't like that." Have you tried it? No. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to take half of that. Now we have some color going into it. Okay. Garlic. Some people like garlic powder. I don't like the garlic powder. I like the taste of fresh garlic. But in here, I'm not going to put too much. Actually, this is how much I use. And if you can see, it's not a lot. So here we go. Ooh. Now you hear that clicking? That's the heat coming up. Like I need heat as hot as it is in here with these lights on. But I'm enjoying it. I told you folks a long time ago, I have cooked in here and fried chicken or whatever it might have been, and it must have been like 89 degrees up in here. I had the windows closed because we have a very big air conditioner. I paid it no mind. I said, at the end of the night, I'm going to eat this and enjoy it. You know what I mean. Okay, so here's my onion. As you can see, I'm not doing a lot of onion. I'm not doing that fancy cut. I'm just chopping up some onion. And watch how easy and how fast it is to make these salmon cakes. Okay, here it goes. A little bit more. And I'm trying to make sure that the onion, the red pepper, and the green pepper have been chopped up the same size. Okay? Not too small. Even though I chopped all of that, I'm just going to add just a little. If I need more, by looking at it, I can. Okay, so we got that part done. So here's our bowl. I'm just going to take this, mix it up a little. Oh, look at that. The color looks good. Okay, next, I'm going to add some roasted garlic pepper from R.L. Schreiber. Notice I'm not going like this. I'm putting it in my hand because I told you the story. One person went and they was putting some garlic or whatever it was. They didn't realize the top wasn't on. They went like this over the food. Need I say more? Okay? So, remember, adding the seasoning, squeeze it between your fingers, like this. Get the oils out, which I forgot to tell you in the previous episode. Okay. Good luck. There we go. Let's mix this up a little bit. Here I have some salmon fish seasoning, a little in my ham. There we go. Squeeze between the fingers, as such. There we go. It's looking good and smelling good too. Should I do this? Okay. So, look how this is turning out. It is so easy, so simple. It doesn't take a genius to do it. Okay, another little sip of wine. Next step, 1 egg. Okay, that's for scraps. Let's do this. There we go. Scrap, let me rinse my finger. Really good. My pan, I just turned it, I just kept it warm. Okay? Let me just mix this up a little bit. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I guess you can see this. It's looking good. Okay, one thing I forgot is a little salt. Just a little salt. Just a little pinch. There we go. A little bit more. Not too much. Okay. All right. Moving right along. Let's mix this. This is looking really good. My egg, my little whisk. Do this. Dun, dun, dun. I can't sing. Y'all probably laughing. Renee tried to sing. He had that wine, right? It's all fun, folks. I like having a good time. I'm sure that you can see that. Okay, that's... Now the egg, of course, is going to help hold it together, as this is. And then we have one more thing to go in here, and that is breadcrumbs. Now, you know you have the Italian breadcrumbs and you have the panko. I use the regular because the panko is kind of big. That's about 2 tablespoons. If you need more, you can add it. Now, the whole thing about making these salmon patties, out of the can, you have the juice. What I did, I saved some of the juice. Just in case the breadcrumbs in here made it too dry, I can just take a couple of drops and add to it. Okay? Da, da, da. Oh, this is so good. We're going to throw down on this. Yeah. So, that part is done. So, the next step is forming the patties. Ooh, got all that salt and seasonings, you know? I have some. I use olive oil. You do not have to use olive oil. I'll tell you another one of my secrets. One time, and not one time, I did it not too long ago. I made some of these patties, and what I did, I tapped them in flour, and then I did another batch and I tapped them in breadcrumbs, and then I was using my big stove, and then I fried them. And I personally found out, it seems like the flour and the breadcrumbs made the patties sort of fall apart. So the third batch, I says, I'm going to try and fry these patties without any breadcrumb, any flour on it, and see what happens. And doing my test, in my test kitchen, I found that not using any of those on them, it does the same thing, but it doesn't fall apart, okay? Actually, it even browned a little better. Okay, so this here Here we go. Looks a little dry. So I'm going to add just a little bit. That's what I'm saying. Save some of the juice that comes out of the can to help, form them together. Okay, this looks good. Now, this is what I use to form them. You can use a spoon, you can use your hand. I use my ice cream scoop, okay? I have one of these and I have the cookie one, which is, I believe, half the size of this, and they both work fine. It depends on the size of, the salmon cakes that you want. Now, oh, that's nice and hot. We're gonna have a few. So what I do, and I pat it down in here. Now I used to just put it in and ignored it, but it did not work out well. And look, the extra juice is coming out. Okay. Then I go like this. Seems to be pretty good. And I place it in my pan. Now make sure that I'm looking as though there was a flame. That it's not too high because you really don't want to burn them. Okay, here's another one. I'm using my hands. I'm at home. You at home, you can use your hands, or you can put on gloves. Gloves, especially with chicken. We all know that because we don't want to get sick. Okay, here we go. There's another one. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's smelling good. All right. And see, just like you would do crab cakes, you have pieces of the chunk of the salmon itself inside of your patty. Okay, so this is it again. Oops. That one I didn't push into this really hard, so it's sort of messed up a little. But after you do it a couple of times, you get the hang of it. Push this in here really hard so it can form. Really good. There we go. And remember, don't have the flame up too high. Okay. That one could have been pushed in there a little bit more. Now what you can, let me turn this down. What you can also do, you can take these patties and you can form them and then take them and put them in your refrigerator and let them sit for about a half an hour so they get a little hard, the same way you would do crab cakes. And then you don't have these little problems. Now what I normally do, I take my fork and I just press down a little. Press it down a little because they're round, so they're kind of thick. Press it down. I can hear the heat coming up. Like I said before, I don't need heat with all these lights on. Okay. See, it's all about having fun, folks. Cooking is wonderful, but have fun doing it. Put on some music, or you might have your favorite TV show you like watching while you're cooking. And that's the nice part about it. You might have friends by and everybody's talking and having a good time. It's Sunday, like today is Sunday. Oh, what you do? What you cooking? And then somebody bring over a pot of food. It's wonderful. That's what life is about. You know what I'm saying? That's what life is about. Let me rinse my hands. Okay. Oh, they're starting to smell really good. I could have used a larger pan, but they are turning brown. Let me throw one more in here. Once again, take it and pat it, push it down in here really good. Oh, yeah. And then, there you go. This one fell a little bit, but that's okay. One more time. Oh my goodness. Now it's starting to smell really good. You can smell the salmon. My video producer was all the way at the other end of the apartment because this is really big, and he said, oh, I could smell it. I said, smell what? He said, I could smell it. I said, okay. So here we go. A little sip of wine. You can tell when these are just about ready, when the bottom of them have a nice golden color to it. And let me see. Now this one is doing. Oh yeah. That has a beautiful golden color to it. That was one of the first that I put in. There is a way that you can tell what you put in there first and what you put in there last by looking at your pan this way. This is a kitchen tip. Looking at your pan this way. Put the first one at 12 o'clock, the next one at 1, the next one at 4, 6, and 9. So when you go to turn them over, you know what you put in there first and what you put in there last, okay? That's a little kitchen tip, and sometimes it'll work. It should work all the time, okay? Let's see. Now, of course, I put it the opposite way, but it's all good. Oh, yeah. Turning nice and golden brown. Perfect. All right. So I have a few more here. I'm going to finish them up. And then when I come back, we will do our presentation and we will have some of my tartar sauce, which is, I'll give you the secret, it's mayo or mayonnaise, some sweet relish, and sriracha sauce. If you don't like the hotness, you can add just a little bit of ketchup. It still gives you the color, and then you get the sweetness from the sweet pickles, okay? Unless you have another type of sauce that you use, okay? This is looking good. I'm gonna turn this up just a pinch. Have another glass of wine. And I'll be back with the rest, the finished product, okay? Don't go away, I'll be right back. We're back. It is time for us to eat. We have made some salmon cakes, as you can see here. They are golden brown. They are beautiful, but we're missing one element, and that is our dip. But first, another sip of wine. So good. Now, this is how I make my dip. I have my bowl. I have some sweet relish. Some mayonnaise. Now, you could vary how much mayonnaise you want to put in it, and sweet relish, that's left up to you. I put about, I say 2 tablespoons. I have some sriracha, which is going to give it that little kick. Oops. And I have some hot sauce. Now, let me explain to you. This hot sauce is really good. The brand is OG hot sauce. It has onion and garlic. The nice thing and the very good thing about this, the fat is 0. The sodium is 4%. Now, you know, you buy a lot of products from the store and we look at sodium, don't we? What does it say? 16%, 21%, 26%. I try to look for 5% or less. Sometimes it's a little bit more, 6 or 7%, depending on what I'm buying. I'll accept it, but I try for 5% or less. This is 4%. And then also the sugar. How much sugar do you usually find in products? A lot, right? This is less than 1 gram. So this hot sauce is healthier for you. Okay, and the protein is 0 grams, but that's okay because the rest of the ingredients on here is good for us. Okay, and the serving is about 80 calories per serving, and that's not too bad. You know, it's going to have that because of the ingredients. But try and get this: the original OG hot sauce, onion and garlic, and that is what I'm adding to this. Not much because I have the sriracha. But I like this because it has the onion and it has the garlic. So I'm just going to take a pinch I like it spicy. Okay, I'm just going to mix it together. And of course, that sriracha is going to give it the color. Now, the OG hot sauce, it's not very, very hot. I think you can deal with it by itself. And look at that. Gives it that nice color. Wow. Okay, that's all we need. And then you just take a little dab and put it on your salmon cake. The salmon cake from the can, which I said is no problem. Okay? Let's put this here, there, and there we go. We have our salmon cakes. Delicious, the best. And we had the frittata. Really, really good. And we put all of that together and we have a meal in itself, okay? So until the next time, thank you so much for tuning in. And this is to you. Have a wonderful evening, and I will continue with my Domaine de la Riviere Chardonnay. Next Door Neighbor 2017. Once again, thank you, Marla, my sponsor. All right. Have a good one. Until the next time.
I'm a mother of 4. It's really busy and time is tight. I was able to return to college because of the Community College Opportunity Grant, a free tuition grant. Hudson County Community College changed my life.
The college community made me feel like a person, not just a number. The Community College Opportunity Grant covers additional costs while keeping me debt-free. I'm building a new future at Hudson County Community College.